What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Dale Valor's Inner Game Podcast. And you may say to yourself, what is inner game and why should I be listening to this podcast? Well, you're probably only asking that if you're new. And if you're new, I'm glad you're here. If you're back again, still glad
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. Inner game is the relationship that you have with yourself. So what we're talking about is really three core principles: health, wealth, and relationships. And if you are shooting yourself in the foot, if you suffer from self-sabotage, maybe you overthink things, maybe you have a lot of negative self-talk, if that is you, you're in the right place. If you suffer from a lack of confidence, maybe your self-esteem is shot, you are in the right place, because those are all things that boil down to the relationship that you have with yourself that is going to transcend into health, wealth, and relationships. If you can't have a good relationship with yourself, how can you have a good relationship with others, right? So glad you're here. As always, I have my trusted confidant, Shabam, holding it down.
Hello.
And so, yeah, I'm really excited about this one. What I did was I put out, I don't know if you saw it in the Facebook group, and I put it on my personal Facebook too. What would you like me to in the podcast? Well, what I got a ton of responses from it. And by the way, complete side note here, if you want me to cover something or you have a question, become a member of our Facebook group. Well, we got 3,700 guys in there, and it's all predicated on helping you improve in those three areas: health, wealth, and relationships. So I'm going to have the link in the description of the video. All you got to do is become a member, and you can ask whatever you want. And there's going to be a ton of different guys there to kind of help you through that. And help, who knows, maybe you can help somebody yourself, So anyway, I threw that question out there, got a ton of different responses, and so many good ones too. It was really, quite honestly, a little tough narrowing it down to one thing, so I'm probably going to go back to that a few times, in the upcoming episodes. But one of the things that really stood out to me was somebody had brought up the pros and cons of the red pill, and we're going to go super deep on that. I have a lot of thoughts on that and everything, so we'll get into that in a few minutes. But first and foremost, before we get on, we do a little bit of show prep. We're talking, Shabam and myself, we're talking a little bit, and I was just like, "How's your week been, bro?" And he's like, "Interesting." I'm like, "Interesting? How?" He's like, "Went to get a haircut and they fucked up my head." And I was like, "Yo, don't even tell me the rest. We'll just do it on the podcast, man, because I want to know exactly what happened." So what happened?
Yeah, basically what happened was I told the barber to, just keep my hair in shape, let the front hair be longer and the sides a bit shorter. Okay.
Yeah.
He basically made everything short.
It does look short. Really, I'm not going to lie. It doesn't look bad.
Yeah, it doesn't look that bad, but it looks a bit short, and I feel like it's a bit too much sort of thing. In personal opinion, it's like I just lost too much hair. And to the sides, especially, if you remove this, it's basically this side. It's like, it's a bit too much.
I'm going to be real, man. The fade looks good, I think. I think it's a little too short on the top.
Stop. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like this,
on the top, you see how mine is? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's got that blend. It's not just like like when I was in high school, we used to call it a Timmy, where you'd see kids would have it'd be mad short and then a little bit longer. It look like steps almost on their head.
Steps.
It's called a Timmy. And what you want is that blend. It shouldn't look like one size, two sides, three sides. You know what I mean? And I think it looks good on the sides for sure.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. Like I'm okay with the sides. The problem is the front, and it looks like I don't have much hair on the top. It just feels weird.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about getting a bad haircut. It'll grow back. you know,
Yeah, it will grow back like
and there's
and
hats, you know, you get you a
yeah,
ball cap or something, and
yeah. Yeah,
but
it's not like I have like a really good hair growth in that sense, as in the
uh,
speed is pretty high. So it should be fine, like within like a couple of weeks, I guess.
well,
So
dude, that's why you got to go to a barber that you know and trust, and
yeah.
and continue to go to that person, you know. Like there's I have like three or four
Hmm.
girls that I go see for haircuts. You know, it's kind of like
Hmm.
who I like the best, second, third, fourth. And so
Hmm.
depending on my schedule and their schedule, it's not so sometimes things just don't match. And so it's like, okay, like, okay, this girl can't do it,
Hmm.
this girl can't do it. Okay, she's good, she can do it, you know. So
Yeah.
so I have a few, you know, but I always go back to them. You know, I don't really, uh, you know, outside of like an extreme, like, I need a haircut today because for whatever reason, um, you know,
Yeah.
but I don't really like rolling the dice with it, you know.
Kind of the same. My regular haircut guy was not there, and I
All
kind
right.
of needed an haircut, so that kind of ended up happening. And I was like, "Yeah, just go for it." And I just told him, like, I generally expected him to, like, I'm okay with the side. I told him leave like the front. He said yes, and he just cut it. And I'm like, "Wait, what are you doing?" And like because by the time I realized it's not there. And I'm like, now it looks weird because half is there, half isn't. So I was like, yeah, now like it's fucked up anyways.
Well, let me tell you, last weekend, all right, crazy story. Uh,
Hmm.
now, little peek behind the curtain for you guys listening to the podcast or watching the podcast.
Hmm.
Um, you know, Shabam, myself, and another guy on our team, Mike. On Tuesdays, we kind of have a little group call and just kind of discuss what we got going on and
Hmm.
some strategies and things like that. Well, I couldn't jump on uh, Tuesday, and I let those guys know in the morning, like, listen, like first and foremost, like I had a terrible headache. I get sinus headaches and things like that.
Hmm.
My sleep wasn't good, but here's the deal: I probably could have toughed it out had I gotten some sleep. The thing was is that I couldn't sleep because my leg, like, dude. All right, so all right, so there's a gas station. It's about it's about 3 blocks from me. All right.
Hmm.
And every now and again, I will, just to get some air, get out of the house, like I could just drive up there, it'd take me 2 seconds. But sometimes if the weather's okay, like I'll just walk,
Hmm.
And so I'm walking up there. Now, here's the deal. This particular gas station, all right. Now, there's a couple of key things about this gas station. First of all, it's kind of the hood gas station, which sounds
Hmm.
funny because there's a gas station on each corner of that intersection. But this one's
Hmm.
the hood one. And this is why it's the
Hmm.
hood one. Because they sell, do you know what a Lucy is?
Nope.
Okay. A Lucy, it's illegal.
Hmm.
Basically, they sell individual cigarettes. And say, like,
Okay.
it's a law that you have to buy a pack. You can't sell them
Yeah.
out individually.
In
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they do it undercover.
Under
You
the
know what I
hood.
mean?
Yeah.
On the DL. So you get people, you get all like the homeless people and things like that that go in there 50 cents for a Lucy, and then they get their cigarette and they're good. Well, anyhow, I'm walking up there, and that's not usually even the gas station I go to because I don't, like I feel bad for them and all that kind of stuff, but it becomes annoying when you're
Hmm.
constantly you get like 6 people that come up, and plus I'm a target for this because like I'm the only white dude in the area,
Hmm.
and so they're thinking I got money like that to be, like handing out money to homeless people,
Hmm.
and it gets annoying. So
Yeah.
I usually go across the street to a different gas station.
Hmm.
All right, let me set the scene. At this gas station, right on the corner. So he's not technically at the gas station, he's at the sidewalk, but it's right in
Hmm.
front of the gas station.
Hmm.
There's a guy. Now, this guy, he's kind of like, He's kind of like the neighborhood mascot. All right.
Hmm.
He dances. Now, he's not a homeless guy, and he's not asking for money. He just does it just simply because I don't
He
know.
enjoys it.
He's got a heart full of dancing to do or something. Like
Yeah.
he wears out. Like just yesterday, I saw him. He was dressed like Baby Yoda. He wears costumes. Like
Hmm.
one day he'll be dressed as Baby Yoda. Tomorrow might be Spider Man. The next day he's dressed up like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and he'll bring out like this like big like a speaker, and
Hmm.
he has like his iPod or his phone or whatever
Hmm.
hooked into the speaker, and he's just bumping music and he's
Blasting.
dancing. All right, and that's what he does. Now he's a little goofy in the sense of there's something not right upstairs with this guy,
Hmm.
but he's harmless. You know, like everybody loves him. He's a super nice guy, super
Hmm.
sweet, and you know he just brings a smile to people's face when they just he's so happy when he's doing it. His face is just like his smile is like and so you can't help but be like that's what's up, you know, like my man.
Hmm.
So anyhow, as I'm going to go to the gas station, I see these kids, probably about, I don't know, 11, 12 years old, probably.
Hmm.
And they're fucking with me. All right. As kids that
Hmm.
age kind of do.
Hmm.
And they're giving him a hard time. And like I said,
Hmm.
this guy, there's something not firing right in this dude's head.
Hmm.
Okay? And so I take it upon myself to chase these kids off because he ain't going to do it, you know? And so I just like, man, beat it, you know? Like, leave this guy alone, man, you know? So these kids take off. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm at the gas station now. Fuck it. I'll
Hmm.
just go into the hood one, get my energy drink, and walk out. So that's exactly what I do. Now, behind the gas station, there's kind of like a little vacant lot and to cut
Hmm.
through to get to my street and then a couple blocks over.
Hmm.
So I walk around the gas station. I didn't even see it coming. One of those kids ran up behind me and hit me in the calf with a baseball bat. So
Damn.
I went down like a bag of rocks, man. You know what I mean? Like I
Hmm.
didn't see it coming. I didn't know they were there.
Hmm.
All I felt, for all I knew, somebody shot me. You know what I mean? Like I was
Hmm.
like, boom, like it just fell. You know.
Hmm.
Now they didn't continue to like hit me
Hmm.
with or nothing. They like ran
Hmm.
off. They were kids. You know what I mean? They're not gonna
Hmm.
like, try to, but
Hmm.
whatever. So nonetheless, I'm hobbling myself home.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Which led to me not being able to sleep for like 2 days practically because it was like it's still
Swollen.
you know like
Yeah.
yeah. It's like man, all because me stepping up for you know JoJo dancing
Homeboy.
on the corner. You know what I mean? So yeah, but so that's kind of how how my week has been. I've been nursing my leg, which also kind of sucks too because I mean, I can get around all right now. It bothers me a little bit, but I've got a boot camp this weekend, and so I'm going to be on my feet a lot and walking around and things like that. I'm kind of like, oh man, I need like a walking stick, like a wise old man, a wizard.
I can see you pulling that off as a pickup line, actually. You know, what's the story behind that? And you can be like,
And then I can cast a spell.
yeah.
All right. So, but yeah, like I said before, man, I put out, asking people what they want me to cover because ultimately this is for you. It's not for me to, just have a platform to talk about whatever I want. I want it to be impactful for you guys that are checking it out and something that brings you back and draws you in, gives you a little bit of fun and a little bit of information and a little bit of actionable things that you can do to help improve with your inner game and health, wealth, and relationships, right? So, like I said, man, somebody had put out what are some of the pros and cons of the red pill? And for those of you who don't know what the red pill is, because it seemingly in every, like, I don't know, every space or every niche there seems to be like a red pill thing, because
Yep.
what does that go back to? It goes back to the Matrix,
Matrix.
and like take the blue pill, and you're under the delusion of you're in the Matrix. You take the red
Yep.
pill, you see things for what they are. Okay, so people use that as a
Basis for.
yeah, an expression to
Mm.
say like, okay, I'm about to wake you up and show you what the real deal is. So I've
Yes.
seen like red pill be used like for things like in the music industry. I've seen it in
Yeah.
psychology. I've seen it, I've seen it here, there, and everywhere. But inside of the dating space, um, the red pill kind of it basically is breaking down through evolutionary psychology, the dynamics between men and women and how they interrelate. All right. And, you will see, look, if you Google the red pill dating or something like that, if you put that term in your browser, you are going to see a very mixed bag of information and very, very polarizing opinions. You will
Yep.
have one person who's just like, it's misogynistic. It makes it turns guys into just complete assholes. It holds women back, and just it's the He-Man woman haters club, right? Then you'll see somebody else be like, no, it just explains human nature, and it gives you a little bit of a leg up, because since you understand how people interrelate, it helps you understand where they're coming from. So you see certainly different varying opinions and things like that. My take on it is this, and I want to get your take on it too, Shaban. My take on it is this. I've done some research on it, and interestingly, it's kind of funny. When uh, before I started coaching, all right, and
Mhm.
uh, you know, back in the day and things like that. Like I was heavily, heavily, heavily involved in the PUA community. All right. Then I started a different career path and things like that. And I just, like I still had all the concepts, and I still knew, like everything that I had learned,
Mm.
and I knew it was effective. Okay. So I just carried that with me, but I kind of like I stopped following like the content and the trends, and like, okay, this is the guy that's on the forefront of this now, and these guys are teaching this, and like I kind of fell out of all of that.
Yep.
When I started to get back into it, is kind of when the red pill was kind of like on the uptick, right?
Yep. Like.
Like I
Yep.
had never heard of it. It had already existed, but it had such a huge reach inside of the manosphere, however you want to put it, had such a far reach in it. My perception was this: this is the new thing. This is what everybody is doing. Like this is
Mm.
the new philosophy. So I started trying to learn it, study it, see what it was about,
Mm.
try to wrap my mind around it, and all that kind of thing. And so in doing that, I saw some things that I liked, and I saw some things that I didn't. And as I continued to delve into it and become a part of forums and ask questions and all that kind of thing, the more I found myself resisting it than
Mm.
embracing it. And there's several reasons for that. Okay. You know, Now look, are there some true things inside of the red pill? Yes, I would say that there is. And I've had many students ask me, should I follow red pill content? Overwhelmingly, my answer is no. All right. And here's why. I don't think that you need the red pill, to understand human psychology. Okay. I don't think that you need it to understand the dynamics between men and women. The dynamics between men and women have existed before the Matrix movies came out. Okay.
Yeah.
like, it's been around for a long time, hence the population of the
Mm.
world. Okay. So
Mm.
it has been around for quite some time. So The other reason that I tend to discourage guys from learning red pill content is not always because of the content itself. All right. It's the energy, the vibe, the culture that that content breeds. Okay. So for instance, I will make a parallel. I wouldn't on face value say something like, I think people that, like, I think that people that are Muslims are evil. I wouldn't say that because I don't believe that to be true. Okay. Like if you follow Islam, okay, that's you, cool. Like, great. However, there are certain fundamental things inside of Islam, like, terrorist cells, like a lot of things. And by the way, I'm not just picking on Islam, Christianity's that way. You can take any religious group and there's going to be fundamentalism.
Yep.
All right, that is a bit extreme and and potentially harmful to people. Okay. What I see inside of the red pill and the people that I've talked to, which has been many people. Okay. It's not just like one wayward dude that I ran into one day and we, got a beer together and talked for 30 minutes. No. Like, I've talked to many people. Okay. And what I see, for the most part, not everybody, okay, I'm not going to make a blanket statement here and say it's everybody, but what I see is, I bet 80%, if not more, tend to carry a grudge and be resentful to women. I have seen very, very, very few. I've seen some, but not many. Okay. Very few guys that subscribe to red pill philosophy, that take it very, very seriously and are indoctrinated by it, that actually do well with women. Very few. So what does that tell me? Well, what that tells me is that if you can't relate and you can't have interrelationship dynamics and be able to, if you're walking into every conversation with a preconceived notion of, this is this person's character, this is what this person thinks, this is what this person responds to, and you've never said a word to this person ever, you're not doing you're already closed-minded. You've already shut that part of you off to be receptive, because everything that they say, you're going to take and view it through the lens of, oh, they're saying that because of this. Now, are there certain patterns in human behavior? Of course.
Of course.
But that doesn't make people a monolith. That doesn't make people hive mind, right?
Yep.
Like, look, if I ask a girl what flavor of ice cream she likes, and she tells me she likes Rocky Road, a lot of these guys are looking through that answer through a prism of, like, now she's saying that because of hypergamy. Like, what if a guy comes along that has better Rocky Road ice cream than the Rocky Road ice cream I have in my freezer? Is she going to monkey branch her way over to that guy's Rocky Road ice cream? You know what I mean? Like, dude, like, obviously that's a silly example, but that's really, in essence, what I see a lot of. It's a lot of second guessing yourself, like always worried that she's not yours, it's just your turn. You know what I mean? Like, I believe it to be something that stifles people more than it helps people. And in addition to that, I find that, a lot of these guys are so bitter, and I get it. Okay. I do understand where a lot of these guys are coming from, in the sense of, you got burned. Maybe your wife left you. Maybe your girlfriend cheated on you. But instead of, looking at the situation as the situation is, they're trying to they're trying to build a narrative as to why. And that why is not the actual narrative. There's two whys. There's the why that you tell yourself, and then there's the actual why. Yep. Right? A lot of the red pill guys will tell you, Oh, that's just female nature. That's just what they do. That's why you never, you shouldn't be having relationships like that with these women because, ultimately she's just going to monkey branch. She found a guy with better resources. That's what they're going
Yeah.
to, a lot of those guys are going to tell you. As to where, well, maybe why she cheated is she just sucks as a person. Maybe she's just a terrible
Yeah.
person. Or maybe, like there was a lot of strife and things like, and I'm not saying that's why a good reason to cheat or anything like that, but maybe there was things going on inside of that relationship that pushed her to that point to where she did. Again, not justifying it, but I'm just saying that might be the rationale. Okay. So now these guys come away with this, what? They're bitter. This girl did this to me. She burned me. It ain't happening again. So, here's this philosophy that's breaking down exactly why what happened. Oh, all women are like that? Oh, okay. That makes sense. I didn't realize that that's just their nature. I would tell you the truth. I've been with a lot of girls, okay? Now, I'm not saying this in some here's my lay count type of way. But what I am saying is, to the best, I could be wrong, all right? But I don't think I am. To the best of my knowledge, and I believe this to be 100% the case, I have never, ever been cheated on. Okay. I've never had ever. Okay. Now, that's not to say because I'm so awesome that no girl would ever cheat on me. And could it happen down the road? Yeah. Okay. Sure. But that doesn't mean that if a girl does, she's a one-off. It's not the pattern,
Yeah.
right? And I'm not saying, I'm not trying to let's flip it out let's look at the other side of this coin here, right? So and I'm not letting women off the hook and saying, oh, well, they're all angelic beings and you brute of a man. No wonder, I'm not saying that either. But what I am talking about is personal responsibility. And that personal responsibility is ultimately what dictates. See, I don't think that people need the red pill because I believe it to be, it instills a mindset. And if you are listening to this right now and you are triggered by what I am saying, if it literally physically manifests feeling upset, you got sold, man. Hook, line, and sink. You got indoctrinated. Why? Because that red pillness is now your identity, and you're taking it personal. You're taking it to an extreme to where it's no longer a list of human nature and in a relationship dynamics.
Yeah.
What you've done is incorporate that into your core identity. So by me saying these things, you being triggered, you take it as if I'm talking about you. That's a problem. If you're indoctrinated to anything to that degree, where you're taking it personal because somebody's talking about something that you happen to think or believe in, you got
That's
sold, man.
yeah, that's the real problem I feel with red pill. I mean, a red pill is inherently not bad, but the people who use it, I feel, are misusing it for, let's just call it what it is, either to sell stuff, or it's like a good, what you would say, wording to just get people interested.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The stuff red pill teaches, some of it are just facts. That's human biological facts. For example, survival of the fittest.
Mm-hmm.
That's Darwinian theory. That's just what it is. It's not about men or women or it's it is just human nature.
Right.
Now you're skewing it in such a way that it feels that you are the victim sort of scenario. That's kind of how, it tries to spin it. That's one thing I would say.
Yeah.
Second of all, I feel like the real reason people get, so messed up with red pill and all is because you just made woman the center focus of your life. That itself is why when someone say rejects you or cheats on you, you take it very, very personally.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'll ask you, this is kind of, I feel to all the people who are upset about it. Okay, like yeah, I understand. I have, like, in my case, I have been cheated. You know my story, Dale. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
know how exactly. Like, I know how that feels.
yeah.
To a point, like that's the reason I understand it, people, and I've read it also. I know a lot about it. So I'm like, I'm in a place where I can talk like the good and bad, both of it. The problem with red pill is it's kind of making women the center of your life, which it should not. It's like, okay, now let's assume you got hurt. Like, yeah, I understand it sucks, but let's put it like this. Okay, that person was probably not a good fit for you if she is, cheating, or like,
Right.
anyways, not a good fit for you. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
that is what it is. So now, are you gonna hate that person? Now, hating that person, or trying to get revenge, like whatever, like red pill is saying, like, in any sense of the way, like, it again, I would say, one, I would like to clear one thing also. Different people talk about red pill differently. Sometimes it's taken as, like, gospel, sometimes it's taken as cult, that
Yeah.
sort of a thing.
Hmm.
I don't support that. You use it like with realism, like, okay, this is how it is. You use that knowledge to your advantage, whatever it is. Like, okay, let's, like, the most common one is hypergamy, like,
Right.
if a girl has a chance for, like, switching to a better option, okay, most than likely she will. Now let me ask you this: what about guys?
Right.
Wouldn't guys kind of do the same? If there's like, there's like a even better looking girl, hotter looking girl, she cares for you even more than likely some of the guys will flip.
Mhm.
Not all, I'm not saying all, obviously there's, like, different people behave differently to different situations. So would that make us also bad? Because technically you're doing the same to females because they did, a certain thing. You're assuming them to be inherently bad. I think that's the thing. Like, you're just taking like both extremes. That's not what, I would say the goal of it is. So,
Here's the thing, and I agree 100% with what
hmm,
you're saying. I do feel it to have a victimhood mentality type of aesthetic to it. And I do
yeah,
think that I think it paints with too broad of a brush. Are there some
yeah,
truths? Yes. Okay. Like I
yes,
said before. Yeah, sure.
yeah,
Okay. But at the same time, and this is what I tend to find a lot of times in interfacing with guys
hmm,
online and stuff like that. It's so black and white, right?
yeah,
Like there's no gray area. What I find in most, it,
hmm,
almost in life in general, the margins are black and white, and
yeah,
in the middle to a large degree. Like, okay, so I'm in this box right now, right?
yeah,
Like, right here on the Zoom.
hmm,
Okay, so if the margins right here are black and white and it's all gray in the middle, what does that mean? That means there's way more room for different situations and different thought processes and things like that. Here's the deal. You know, guys look at this thing of hypergamy and like, well, she's just going to go with the best option available. All right.
hmm,
And what I find is some of these guys, like they get into a relationship or they start dating
hmm,
somebody and they're waiting for the other shoe to drop. They're waiting for hypergamy to kick in. And what does that say about you as a person? Like, clearly you're not good enough, right? That can't
yeah,
be
yeah,
good for
like,
your self-esteem, like,
exactly.
and the thing is, look, now, who's to say what is good enough? Okay. Like, for instance, I find women to be more loyal than not. Okay. And what I mean by that is this: most women, all right, are not going to cheat, regardless of what you may see. Okay. Are there some that do? Yeah, sure. Happens. Happened to you,
Yeah,
it's happened to a lot of guys, right? Most women are not going to cheat. Now, they might break up with you to date somebody else or something like that, but most women are not going to. All right. Because if that was the case, that they're just going to get with whoever that is, seemingly better than you. Look, if it, it every party that you may go to, all right, or any event that you
hmm,
may go to, we'll say there's 500 people there. 250 are men and 250 are women. What's the odds that you're number one inside of with those 250 guys? Well, depends, honestly. It depends
Yeah,
on
it
what
depends
is number
on
one to her,
her.
right?
Exactly.
Because a guy may be physically better looking than you, but if all you're thinking about is hypergamy, 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 a guy's now you feel threatened because this guy's
Yeah,
better
like
looking than you. But from her
that
standpoint,
everyone is like, yeah, like you said, like, the biggest problem is they start looking at everyone as an enemy. Like a
right,
better looking guy is an enemy. Uh, like even a pretty girl becomes an enemy because she's like, the moment she gets a better guy, she's gonna jump. So she's also an enemy. You start like you said, like the victim mentality to an
mm-hmm.
extent where it becomes like, you're fighting, like everyone in the world is against you, sort of. And like there's no like benefit to that mentality. Like, okay, let's assume you're in that, but like what are you going to do now? You kind of shot yourself in the foot because now you don't have anyone to,
Right.
like there's no comrades.
Why is it like think about it like this? And I'm not saying, by the way, any of you guys listening that might be like advocates or follow red pill philosophy and all that kind of stuff. Please don't take this the way that this is going to sound, okay? Because it's not what I mean. But why is it that um, fringe subcultures or fringe ideals or ideologies and things like that, when it comes to interrelationship type of dynamics, right? Like they all kind of, for the most part, kind of all have the same core type of principles. Okay. So what I mean by that is incels. All right. Guys who are like black pill. All right.
Yeah.
Guys that are red pill. Okay. Like there's a lot of commonality there. Now there's differences. Don't get me wrong. That's why those are three different things, right?
Yeah.
There's differences, but there is a lot of crossover. Okay, and in that crossover is a lot of the core beliefs of those things. Okay, so again, that brings me back to, man, I rarely see a guy that's good with women that subscribes to red pill philosophy. They don't go talk to the girls they want to talk to. Why? Well, they're just gonna leave me anyway.
Yeah, like
Like now, you will see guys who are like, oh, I spin plates and things like that,
hmm.
and that's fine. Like I don't have any issue with that, but man, at a certain point in time, that gets old, man. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it just does, and so and that, and to me, that's not even like red pill philosophy. That's just like on some player stuff,
Yeah, and it is
like.
like it is just being playerish. Also, I feel like people like misconstrued like what spinning plates or like having like multiple partners is.
Mhm,
Now, okay, ideally, let's assume that you're in a situation where you're the only like you have one main, like they call it like main partner versus like multiple other partners.
mhm.
There's a difference in that also. Like some people might not like what I'm gonna say, but it is what it is. There are some girls who sleep with multiple guys regardless.
Mm-hmm.
It's not you. You are not special to her just because she, slept with you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that sort of thing is normal to her. And that's just her nature. You can't, like try to change that. On the contrary, let's say there's someone who just wants to sleep only with you.
Yeah.
You get it? That is a different scenario. So now when people say spinning plates, you can be sleeping with 10 different people, but
Right.
like they're not serious. They're sleeping with like, let's say another 10 people. You're just like, sleeping around is what it is. I wouldn't call it spinning plates or having like, I mean, it sounds good on paper with the numbers and all,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not what it is.
It just, there's so many assumptions that are made, and you're
Yeah.
operating off of. It's like this, man. If we'll just say that I believe that 2 + 2 = 5. All right.
Hmm.
That's my thought process. That's my
Mhm.
belief system. 2 plus 2 equals 5. Well, anything that I go to do is going to be based off of that principle, right?
Possible.
So if I'm going to build a house, how correct is my planning going to be in my architecture?
Exactly.
Like, dude, the house is gonna fall over, man.
Yeah.
Like, it, anything that I do that has anything to do with numbers, it's going to be off.
It's gonna mess up. Yeah. Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is if somebody's belief system is this is how it is every single time, no matter what.
Mm.
Okay. Every decision that you make, and then every decision thereafter, and every decision thereafter, it's all built on a predication that isn't necessarily the case. There's a guy who he's a dating coach. I'm not gonna
Mm.
say names, okay? But this dude, I remember him. Uh, he was in my Facebook group a while back, and he ended up getting put out because just some of the stuff he was saying was just absurd. But one of the things that really stuck with me is that he was saying that the average, okay,
Mm.
has a body count by the time they're 30 of 3,000.
Wait, what? That's not even possible.
I was like, well, it's possible. I mean,
I
okay,
mean,
it's possible in the sense of like, time and math. And
yeah, like
I mean, it's possible. But here's what I'm getting at. That is ridiculous. And so
truly.
what I'm getting at here is this: everything that he is teaching, everything that he is, giving his students, every decision that he makes inside of these relationships is all predicated on, oh, this woman has slept with thousands of dudes. So, like, what kind of connection could I ever build with this girl? She's so used to sleeping with so many guys that, given if I don't keep an eye on her 24 hours a day, it's just, if I turn my back, I'm going to turn around and there's a dick in her mouth. You know what I mean? So, like, like, how is that any way to live? You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly. It's like you're always running like with a gun to your head, like it's like you just do one step wrong and you're going to be shot in the head. That's kind of the mentality you're living with. And
now
like it's very, very unhealthy, like you said. So
you could make the argument that, he's just, speaking the hyperbole to, like, try to get more students and whatever. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? But nonetheless, there's going to be people that believe him. And
Yeah.
I don't care if it's 5 people, only 5 that believe him. Those 5 people's relationships, or what could be potentially be a good relationship, is now sabotaged.
Yeah. Like if they actually accept that as truth, then they kind of shot themselves with their foot, and it's
Yeah,
just not gonna end well. It's
no,
just not gonna end well.
not at all, not at all. So anyway, yeah, man, like, that's my thoughts on it. Like, there's so many other more healthy ways to have interpersonal relationship dynamics, where you can operate. Now, man, this is where I know where people are going to get it twisted, and I know that people are going to be like, well, what about
Mm.
but here, you can leverage human behavior. I'm not saying that you can't. You can do that, but when you are positioning yourself to always be the perpetual victim,
Yeah.
what you're doing is you're taking the personal responsibility off of yourself. Now, the other side of I guess the flip side of that would be like, well, no, that's actually a motivator, because now I have to be, the very best version of me, like health, wealth, SMV, as it's called, right?
Yeah.
Sexual marketplace
Yeah.
value. So, looks, money, status is what gets thrown out. LMS,
Mm.
looks, money, status. Okay, cool. Are looks, money, status attractive? Sure.
Definitely.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
It is. It is. It is.
Like, I'm not going to
It
say
is
they're
what
not.
it is. Like a not. Yeah. Exactly.
But here's where the problem lies what I've
Hmm.
identified in the people that I've talked with and things like that. It is a never ending pursuit. You're
Yep.
never, you're never going to look good enough. I was talking to a guy just the other day. I threw a post out and I was saying, what is your biggest motivator? And his thing was, um, keep working on my looks. All right. Okay, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with presenting yourself in the best way possible.
Yep.
Noting, like I can, I
Yeah.
can, I can get on board with that. However, it's never going to be enough. You are essentially instilling in yourself body dysmorphia. Your biceps
Yep.
you're never going to be cut enough. Your teeth are never going to be white enough. Your eye color is never going to be whatever enough. And then if we take it beyond that, like where you see like a lot of dudes, um, you know, in in like I see guys like from like India. I'll never be white
Hmm.
enough for girls. Dude, that's so stupid to me. You know what I mean? Like that's
Like it,
ridiculous.
but that's what I don't like about this concept entirely. Okay. Now, you being the best version of yourself, I'm all up for it. I'm personally a big advocate of that. All up for it, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem is like stuff like what you just said. An Indian guy going, I'm not white enough. Why would you want to be white in the first place? Because that's not
Right.
you. Because, like, why would you want someone to not accept you for who you are as a person?
Right. Exactly.
It just makes no sense. It's like, you are you. You want someone to value you for you, because otherwise, how long are you going to pretend? Let's say, like, let's assume you somehow found a way to become white. I don't know, some chemical, or like, let's assume you somehow found one.
That's some Michael
Okay.
Jackson stuff, bleaching their
Yeah.
skin.
Yeah. Like, you somehow did it. Okay, fine. Till how long are you going to maintain that fake personality? Like, that fake self of yours?
Right.
It's just, you can never reach that. And like, let's assume you kept it for a while, say a couple of years. What's going to happen the moment you found out that's not your true self? Because someday it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a matter of time when, not how. It's just,
Right. Yeah.
it is
Exactly.
what it is.
And then, like money.
Yeah.
When's enough? Like, do you got to be Elon Musk? Because, I mean, ultimately, I guess if we're talking about looks, money, status, nobody's got more money than him. You lose. He's number one.
Yeah.
if,
Yeah, like,
if
no.
your net worth is $1 less than his, he's got more money than you. So, I guess he gets all the girls. Like
Yeah, like,
it's so ridiculous. So here's what I would advocate for guys.
hmm,
Okay, instead of following some type of philosophy or a movement or things like that, a couple of things. First and foremost, treat people as individuals with their own ideals, their own desires, what they want. Like, look, believe it or not, and I know that some guys are just like, there's no way that's possible. Believe it or not, I don't know who the hot actor is now. You know what I mean?
hmm,
Uh, I don't know who's the guy that played Thor in the Thor movies. What's that dude's name?
uh, Chris Hemsworth, if I'm not
Yeah,
wrong,
yeah,
unless
yeah.
I'm,
That's it. Yeah, blonde
yep,
dude. Okay,
yep,
like girls rave over this guy, right?
yep,
All right. There are women who don't find him attractive. There are women now. A lot of them do. I'm not saying the majority of women don't find him. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is this: everybody has their own ideals as to what they find attractive. Now, I would promise you, there's a lot more women. Now, if you go around, you ask women, is Chris Helmsworth attractive? Many, 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 many women, the vast majority of women are going to say
mm,
yes, he is an
yes,
attractive man. Okay. Now, how many of those same women that said that he's attractive would actually, if push came to shove, like this is real deal,
mm,
a reality, would actually go on dates with this dude. That pool, believe it or not, that pool is going to shrink to a large degree. Here's
Yep.
why. Not because he's not attractive. Not because they might, not even because they may actually want to. The reason why they don't is because they can't see themselves with him. They don't understand his lifestyle. They can't conceptualize because now they're in the spotlight too. And that may be uncomfortable for them. They feel like they're going to embarrass themselves. So a lot of them are going to be like, no, I'm good on that. Like in a perfect world, fantasy land, sure. In the real world,
The real world, nah.
I'm good on that, And so what does that say? Looks, money, and status just went right out the window. I'll tell you a story real quick. I was a while back, I was doing an interview with this girl who she's like a video girl, I know exactly where everybody said went. No, she's like she's a dancer, which doesn't help the cause of what I just said. But no, but she's a dancer like in like music videos and things like that. She's been in like a ton of different people's, videos and things like it. She's been in several Justin Bieber videos and this and that. So she was telling me this story about how she was on the set of, they were shooting this video for one of his songs that she's in. And whatever the timeout, whatever, they're chilling. Get something to eat, whatever the deal was. So what happened was they're hanging out and a TV's on. Now this commercial comes up for some auto dealership. And in that commercial was some girl who is a salesperson at that dealership, really pretty girl apparently, and which is probably why she was in the commercial. But she actually was a dealer or a salesperson at that dealership. Okay, and so Bieber is like, I'm gonna go out with that girl. And so what he did was he showed up at the dealership and was like, hey, today I saw a commercial that had one of your salespeople. I would like to speak with her. So they go and get her. She comes up up there or whatever, and to the showroom, and he says, like, hey, I saw your commercial. I thought that you were really pretty in it. I just wanted to come up here, introduce myself. I'm Justin Bieber. And she was like, who do you think you are? She was like, you're wasting my time with this. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, this is where I work. Like, you're just going to come up here and just holler at me because you saw me. Like, you think that low of me? You know what I mean? Like, she was like offended at this. Now, this is Justin Bieber. Okay? Like, I promise you, everybody that is listening to this podcast, when I said the name Justin Bieber, you knew exactly who I meant. Okay? Yeah. So, again, looks, money, status. Now, according to, a lot of the red pill philosophy, well, it would have been a wrap. It wouldn't even matter if she was married or not. Here's Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if that girl was married or not. I don't know. But either way, it wouldn't matter, because, this guy's, more resources and and so she should have just, been swept off her feet, quit her job right then, and, went right back to the video shoot, so, but that wasn't the case. That's not what happened. So again, what I'm reinforcing here is that the mindset here should be, look, treat people as individuals. Maybe I pet a dog and I get bit. All right, I'm walking down my street, do. There's a dog, jumping up at this fence. I put my hand in there to pet him and he bites me. So what, I'm just never going to pet a dog again? Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, okay, fine. Maybe not a stranger's dog, but like,
Well, I mean, look, just because something happens and And look, man, maybe you were going out with some girl and it was the shittiest girlfriend ever. That doesn't mean that every girl is shitty. You know
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I'm
like
saying?
that's like a very wrong assumption.
Right. It's not like
Also,
a
like,
tree grew and it was just a shitty
yeah,
girl tree. And
yeah,
like on every
like
branch, every fruit of that is a shitty girl. You know what I mean? Like, it's not how it works, man.
facts.
And so the second thing here is treat people as individuals. You know, I get it. It's easy to stereotype people. It's easy to put people in boxes and just assume, well, they're like this,
Mm,
so those type of people are like this. So this is how those
mm,
type of people respond to
mm.
when I do this. Okay,
Yeah,
it's easy to do that, man. Don't be so intellectually lazy. That's laziness.
yeah, yeah.
You
It
know.
is what it is. Like,
Second, man, if you just have fucking boundaries, a lot of these problems would be eliminated.
yep,
You treat people how you want to be treated, and you don't let people walk all over you.
exactly.
How simple of a concept is that? If you did those two things, you don't need red pill.
Yep. That's what I kind of like. I'm the biggest, like, because I have followed red pill. I read about it. I was curious about it at the time, and I was like, okay, okay, okay. And then I realized the solution kind of to the problem seems to be, and like I think that is like what exactly what you suggested. Be the best version of yourself, which is humanly possible,
Mm-hmm.
and don't let your self-esteem be valued by other people, like, from the
Right,
perspective of other people. Like, whether like a certain, say, ex girl likes you or not does not define your value.
right,
It's you who defines it. So
right.
if you're on your, like, path and purpose, like you're doing what you want to do, you're happy with you, like you're trying for your goals. Now I know, like you just said, there's never enough, but that's kind of the whole point. It's the journey, not the destination. You're supposed to take pleasure in that entire process of, growing to be like the person you want to be.
Yeah. I agree. Like
Hmm.
I guess that would be number three. Be your best
Yeah,
version of yourself for you.
yeah,
You know, so you can validate yourself. Like, look, value is subjective,
yeah,
right? Like, value is, and that's one of the main issues that I have with the red pill is that it's taking things that are subjective and it's trying to make them as if it's uniform,
yeah,
right? Like, this is how everybody is, and it's not the case. For instance, if I'm walking through the desert and I've got a bag of gold, right? I'm lugging this bag of gold across the desert for whatever reason.
hmm,
Now, and it's 120 degrees, and I'm gonna die of dehydration.
hmm,
Somebody rides up on a horse or something, and they're like, "Listen, I got 5 gallons of water. It's you, all
hmm,
you. All you got to do is give me that bag of gold." Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give him that bag of gold, man. Okay, but according to the rigid standards, well, gold's more valuable.
yeah,
Only in the right context is it more valuable.
yeah. Like, if it's life and death, of
Right.
course, like,
You know, I mean, I can make that analogy all day. I'm building a house, and I need a saw, and you come over, and you're like, Dale, I have got the best hammer of all time. This hammer is
the goat.
nothing has been built like this hammer before it. It is like the hammer of the gods. Like, you nail in one nail and all the nails go in. Like, this thing is magical. And if I need a saw, like, yeah, that's cool, but that doesn't
But I need a
serve any
saw.
purpose to me right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
You know? So again, value is subjective. Just like the girl with Bieber, right?
yeah,
Like, what she perceives as value is not what somebody else perceives as value. Now,
yeah,
Justin Bieber could do that, 10 more times, and maybe 10 girls go with him, you
yeah.
know? But that doesn't mean that everybody's going to, which is why you treat people as individuals.
Individual.
you know?
Exactly.
So, um, I think we covered everything pretty well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we pretty much covered everything. Like the only thing I would say is, like, again, just to hammer the point in, don't let your value be defined by other people. That's kind of why, like, the whole red pill is kind of, you put yourself in that victim mentality and, shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
It's not about them. It's about your relationship with you. That's kind of the whole purpose of this podcast, inner game. You need to improve your relationship with you as a person. Be the best version of yourself in terms of your goals, everything, looks, money, status, everything. And then you will be in a situation where you don't have to, like, worry about if a specific girl that you just met likes you or not. It doesn't matter. If
Mhm.
she likes you, good for her. She got a valuable guy like you. If she doesn't like you, it's her loss.
Right.
It doesn't make any, like, it doesn't make your day any worse. So,
Yep. 100%. On that note, listen, guys, if you're not a member of the Facebook group, the Modern Flirting Inner Game Facebook group, I'm putting the link in the description. All you got to do is click on it, become a part of it. That's it. No questions asked. All right. Second to that, if you like the tone and what we're talking about, and you want to go a little bit deeper with it, I'm also going to put a link. Book a call, man. You know what I mean? We
yeah,
can we can chop it up. So I'm going to put a link there for that too. And let's get down, man. Let's get a few things figured out, man. Get you a little more confidence, a little more self-esteem. Make
yeah,
yourself that better version of you without having to subscribe to a philosophy to do it. Like
yeah,
you can do it organically on your own merit, not on because of this and this and this reason and over here and then fuck all that, man. Do it for you because you
yeah,
want to be that guy, right? So book that call and look, if you know anybody that, and I know you do, that would resonate with this type of content, please share it and let a couple people know about what we're doing here. So
yeah,
on
yeah,
that note, we'll see you next week. Shabam, peace
yeah.
out, and
So, peace.
we'll talk to you
Cheers.
guys soon.